Hello, hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, to the Almost Brothers podcast. On today's just going to be awesome episode, we're talking about how do you handle getting taken advantage of, but still hold on to your witness and hold on to your Jesus and not just blow up on somebody while also standing up for yourself and saying, you know what, you're not just going to run over me. Coming up. Man, I swear, the more I listen to that song, the more it gets stuck in my head.
Yes.
Ah, oh, so good. It's like, can't you do? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. We're so glad you're with us. I keep laughing because I listened to the one where it's like hearts. See you when you're like hearts. It's so funny. I want to get that put on a shirt somewhere. How you doing, Jeremiah?
Man, I'm good. Doing good. I've been here at the church all day helping.
Oh yeah,
Pastor get some things picked up outside after the little catastrophe that we had.
The deluge that we had.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Stage flood.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And Megan sent me because she said she was looking out her window right as it happened.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So she said she like saw it, the whole thing, like, and then she sent me a picture. I'm like, oh no, like my drums are out there and the mics are out there. And
it was funny. He said, I said, we can put all these crossbeams back up. And he said, no, because I don't want to be tempted to put another tarp on it.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just collected too much water.
Oh my goodness. It was crazy.
And your drum sets were okay though.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really amazing. I mean, there was a beam on each side of his set. I seen it. It was.
Yeah, and you sent me the picture, so I'm stuck at school, and I get the message, and I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't call him.
Oh, if it would have landed on him, there would have been nothing you could do anyway.
Right, yeah, that's very true.
It was pretty bad.
It's like, hello, darkness, my old friend. Man.
Yeah, we've had a good day.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Me and Pastor been running around here doing different things, and it's just been a good laid-back day.
Oh, yeah. Yep, nice weather for it.
It's a beautiful day.
Oh, I love it. It's gloomy. Tomorrow's going to be like 82 degrees.
And probably muggy.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan.
We've had so much rain. It's
me no likey.
Yeah.
But at least we got some rain, so my message tomorrow is going to be good. Yeah, because I have to dig in the dirt for the message. So
we'll be digging in the mud.
Yeah, and it's like pretty hard dirt back there. I tried to dig last week. And
was it nice and flat back there for you?
It was.
Somebody did a lot of work.
Did you do that?
I actually did do that.
Yes. I went back there and it was like an hour and a half before service. And I went back and I'm like, it looks like this just got done. Like either they
that
keep.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
You're
man.
welcome.
That's awesome.
I'd never ran a box blade before.
Yeah.
And Pastor was just like, get on there and run it about 7 or 8. And I'm just like, I don't really know what you're saying, but I'll drag this thing around in a circle all day long if you need me to.
7 or 8.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really rough back there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd changed back there, but there was a lot of ruts, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
We got her knocked down.
At least you're a little bit more ahead than I don't even know what a box blade is.
A box blade.
Well, I don't even know what that is. So
it just goes behind a tractor and it cuts and makes things smooth.
Oh, okay. Just drags along.
Drags it along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At a 6 or a 7.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
6 or
7 or 8.
Yeah, or 7 or 8. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It was kind of cool because I had Pastor telling me one thing, and then I had Wheeler show up and telling me a completely different thing.
Those are my
I'm
favorite.
like, who do you follow?
Yeah.
Who do you listen to?
Who knows more? Okay.
I just kind of melded the two.
Yeah.
The two suggestions. I just kind of
Yep.
got somewhere in the middle and did my own thing.
That's probably the best thing to do. Like, I don't know. Just looking at both of them like, what? Okay. Go left. Okay. Right. I'm just going to go straight.
I'm just going straight.
I'm just going to act like you ignore them.
Yeah.
Just look ahead. Just look ahead.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, I heard you had a exciting time today dealing with your truck. So
Yeah.
Let's start off with the nice story.
Well, I got to practice this today. I didn't know we were going to be talking about this, but I think it's a good thing to talk about. Without getting into a lot of detail, I took my vehicle somewhere to get it worked on. And when I went to pick it up, the bill was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. And so initially I was pretty fired up, but I just went in and was like, wait, what's up with this? And of course, it's just a lady sitting there at the desk.
Right.
It's like, well, sir, this was this much, this was this much. And she just basically read me my bill. And I'm like, I understand, but why is it that much? I mean, that's more than double than what I thought it should have been. And anyhow, she just said, things are expensive. And I said, well, not everywhere.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I get it that things are expensive, but anyhow. So it's just one of them deals where you just say, you got me, but it's not going to happen again. Congratulations.
Yeah. Good job.
Hand me my keys. I'm out of here.
Now, was it one of these places that they don't tell you how much it costs until they're done with it?
Well, yes and no. There was a lot of things I wanted fixed on my truck, and they kind of called me and said, hey, this is going to be, a couple $1,000s or whatever for all. I said, no, don't do all that. I can't afford all that right now then. And I should have known right there that I thought it was probably going to be like $500 or $600 worth of labor altogether. And they were to shoot me a price like more than double that. And I was like, hold off on all that.
Yeah.
Let's just do the couple things that really need attention right now. Anyhow, so they kind of did tell me, but they didn't tell me like, hey, this is what it's going to cost.
Right.
But I don't know. It's okay. It's one of the things where I was polite about it, but I let them know that I wasn't happy.
Right.
Without, you don't always have to cuss at somebody or get all in their face or want to fight a mechanic, Yep. But it's just, you know what I mean? It's just, again, I think it's okay to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I didn't do anything to damage my witness, or tarnish who I say that I want to be, what I stand for and what I am. So,
right.
Anyway,
because
it's tough.
It really is. It really is. And, a lot of people say, well, what would Jesus do? It's like, sometimes he told those religious people what was up before they even said anything. They were just thinking it, and he turned to them and kind of, let them know what's what. Mm-hmm. Hey, I know what you're thinking. I remember the story when they were talking crap because he was what was it? He healed on the Sabbath or something. Mm-hmm. They were kind of thinking it and talking to each other, and he turned to him and said, hey, if on the Sabbath you had a sheep leave your herd, would you not, or fall in a pit, would you not go after that sheep? Well, yeah. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, and
right.
Even when he went and flipped the tables when they were, exchanging money in the temple, and it's like, Jesus, man, I've said it, he ain't no punk, man. He wasn't going to let nobody punk him out.
That's right.
And I think that's how we have to be, but it's such a hard line to walk, especially when you know that you've been done wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just like, God, guide my words, because, and with me, I got a big mouth.
Well, and it's one thing if you're dealing with a Christian establishment or dealing with another Christian, but if you're dealing with someone who doesn't, claim to be a Christian and just a worldly organization, you know what I mean? And they're not professing to be Christian. So you have to handle that in a situation that shows them Christ. Yeah. Even though you're upset, you don't just have to, just take it. Pull out the checkbook and be like, okay, I'm a Christian, so you can do whatever. It's not like that. But then again, you don't, like I said, you don't want to do anything to damage it. Because if you act a certain way, then they're just, then it's just like, well, he goes to church. That's a Christian for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you just don't want to get that ball rolling.
Yep. Give them an excuse to.
Just like, well, what did Jesus do for you? I just heard the way you talked. You just cussed me out and threw my computer screen,
Yeah, I just work here. It's like a 17-year-old kid just got out of school.
Right.
What? I know. I've had people very close to me, that were taking advantage of like, say, my mom or dad, just using hypothetical, and their words, word for word, was, well, you should help me. Like, you're a Christian. It's like, but that you've gotten help again and again and again and again and again and again. It's like, at some point, yes, they're Christians. Yes, they're believers. Yes, they follow Jesus. But there's got to be some point where it's like, okay, like, enough's enough. You're no longer going to take advantage of me, you know? And I think that's the hardest thing for a lot of people, especially like my mom, my dad, my grandma, you know, people who just have such big hearts and that love. My sisters, you know, they're the same way. They'll let people take advantage of them again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And it's like, at some point you've got to put your foot down, you know, you've got to take care of yourself and say, you know what, this is affecting me now.
Right.
You know, you're taking advantage of me and it's affecting me now, you know? So, I think God gave us a mind, gave us a head on our shoulders to be able to discern when, okay, enough is enough. Like, I'm not just going to keep giving you, you know, give. But it's hard, especially when it's somebody that you love or a close friend. It's like, man, how do you handle that situation, or how do you go about it? Cause I know, just like with you, with the car thing, man, cause I wouldn't have any idea how much it should even be. I wouldn't even know. They could have shot me a price. I'd have been like, oh, okay, sure. I'm on my way.
Right.
But it's like, cause I've had that happen with Jamie's car. You know, we took it to a place and told them what was wrong with it. They said, okay. Took it to the back. 30 minutes later, came up. Yep, this is what's wrong with it. We'll keep it in here. We'll fix it. Come back tomorrow. Came back, paid for it, took off. Same thing happening with it. Take it back up there like, hey, it's doing the same thing that I just paid $1,400 for. Oh, well, I'll send them back out. Oh, yeah, it's something else that's wrong with it. Yeah, it's going to be another $2,000. Huh? What? Joke's on me. I'm just like, well, what about what you just fixed? Yeah, I guess that's not what was wrong with it. Oh, okay, so what are we going to do about that? Nothing. Do you want what's wrong with it fixed? I'm just like, and it's like, and that was when, you know, that was when I was still in church, and it was like, man, how do I go about this? And I just kind of took it on the chin and like, all right, well, I guess this ain't getting fixed. Thanks for fixing nothing, I guess. And it's just so frustrating, man, because I know stuff like that, I have no idea what's, you know, you couldn't. That's one thing. Uncle Johnny is a lifesaver, man. You know, I'll call him to the house and he'll come do stuff, especially with the cars. But man, like what? I don't even know any scriptures like off the top of my head to help combat that. You know, I mean, I guess just out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. You know, I mean, I guess that's one. It's just like, that's where you really have to have God's word in your heart to be able to just push back that anger. Oh my, I get so mad.
Well, there's the scripture that says, in your anger, do not sin.
Yeah.
And that's always the one that I guess comes to mind when I feel that, you know, that heat coming, you know what I mean? Your face getting hot and you know, man, this is getting ready to get ugly. And, you know, I just always tell myself, in my anger, don't sin. You know, got to step away from it and cool off, because, man, I tell you what, when I get fired up, man, there's no telling what's going to come out of this mouth.
Yeah.
And I don't like that about myself. And I've, you know, the Lord's helped me deal with that and helped me come a long way in that area where I used to not be so good at that.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being upset for being mistreated.
Yeah.
It's just all about how you respond to that and how you treat somebody in your by being offended.
Yeah, that's good, man. And I know it's always frustrating to hear when I see somebody that I look up to or that I know is a Christian and they're just going ham on somebody.
I know.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, because you already know what that person is thinking. You know, the person that they're going off on, you already know what they're thinking and how they're responding. It's like, oh, a Christian, huh? And then it's like, man, that not only makes all of us Christians bad, but most importantly, that makes Jesus look bad.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, do you not know what you're doing? You know, in acting like that. Or, oh man, I seen a post today. It was so good. It said, you know, people will put on, you know, on Facebook or whatever, and they'll say, I'm a Christian, but I do this, or I cuss, or I've got bad attitude. Oh my gosh. It's like, but are you though?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, you know, no, we're not to judge one another, but the Bible says we're to be fruit inspectors. And it's like, Amen. What kind of fruit are you bearing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Christian, but I cuss a little. I mean, but are you trying to get rid of that? Like, are you trying to, you know, it's kind of like boasting about these things that you're struggling with and saying, well, it's fine.
It's an abuse of grace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut and dry. I mean,
Yep.
that's just what it is. And I think that some things are more obvious than others. But if we have the attitude as, I don't have to deal with this, that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I was made this way. God made me this way. He knows, that's an excuse to abuse his grace.
Yeah.
So there's something that needs to be worked on,
Oh, absolutely.
repented of,
Yes. Turned away from. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because especially in our society now, that's, well, just that's who you are. Just,
Yes. And everybody's an individual.
yep.
Everybody be unique, be yourself, be you. No, we're supposed to be Christ.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be like Christ.
Yeah.
We can be ourself and have an identity inside that identity.
Yeah.
There's going to still be character traits that we possess and we have, our humor and our charisma or whatever, there's going to be things there that's still us, but the overall picture needs to be Christ-like.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I was saying, I can't remember her name. She's like an evangelist. She was on the War Room movie.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember her name.
We were just talking about her.
But I heard one of her messages where she was talking about, having our identity. We have, she's black, woman, Christian, mother, wife. And she said, I'm not a black woman Christian. She said, I'm a Christian first. I'm a Christ follower first. Right. Everything else comes secondary. It's like, man, that's really how we need to see ourselves, as we're followers of Christ first. Yes, Priscilla. That is it. Yeah, Priscilla Shirer.
Yeah.
Shearer. I'm sorry if this gets to you, Miss Priscilla, please call in. But yeah, and it was so good. It's like, man, because that is, we're told all these labels that we're meant to be, and we think, I'm a mixed man Christian. No, I'm a Christian first. That comes first. That's who I am. Everything else is under that umbrella.
Right.
That is the umbrella, but everything else falls underneath that. And that's really how we have to see ourselves, especially in those moments where we feel our flesh rising up and we want to get angry and we need to say, okay, hold up.
Yeah.
I need to show Christ first and foremost. No, I don't need to get run over, but I need to show Christ in this situation.
Yes.
But man, some people make it muy, muy difficult.
Absolutely.
Oh, just like, you ever get the people that just irk your nerves? Like no matter what they do, they just,
yes.
Just drive me crazy.
I'm probably that person for someone.
Oh, I know I am, because I'm loud and everything else. And absolutely.
It like today, I walked out of there smiling, thank you, and then I got in my truck and I just like gripped the steering wheel and like about yanked it off the console, right? It's like column.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, oh, but then it's like, you know what? It'd be okay.
Yeah.
Because God's going to take care of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's my provider, and he did not get caught off guard by that bill.
Yeah.
He's seen it coming.
Yep.
And so he's going to help me get through it. He's going to, like I said, he provides for me and he makes sure that I have more than enough.
Yep.
And I just got to trust him that as long as I represent him like I'm supposed to, watch my mouth, handle it like Christ would, then he will take care of me.
Oh yeah.
Because it's about seeking him first and his righteousness, and then he takes care of all the other things.
Yeah. Because it's not even about responding to it. It's about knowing that, God, you put this before me as a test, as a stumbling block to show me in my failure of that, or to show me that, oh man, I'm a little bit stronger than I thought I would. I was,
right.
2 years ago that I would have blown up.
Yeah.
So it's
and the outcome would have been no different.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It still would have cost me the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And I would have blown up or whatever. But it wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that has changed is the response to that.
Man, that's good. That's so good. I just had this conversation with, I'm not going to call him out exactly, but one of the Randall boys. So you got a 1 in 3 shot of knowing who it is. But we were talking about how somebody said something to him. He got upset and pops back off to him. They both get in trouble in class. I said, so now you've just let someone else get you in trouble. Do you see how that is stupid? Like, as you're looking back on it, like you let someone else's words, now you're in trouble because of something that someone else said. Like, don't give that other person that much power, to be able to get you out of who you are.
Right.
He's like, oh yeah, I never looked at it like that. I'm like, no,
And you know how it is, even in like sports.
Yeah.
It was always the guy who retaliated that got in trouble.
Yep.
Almost every time.
Yeah.
You get a cheap shot under the basket or something, and you retaliate. It's you with the technical.
Yeah,
it ain't the other guy.
That's very good. That's so true. And it's like, man, just keep your composure.
It tells us to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
And that's hard, but that's what Jesus did.
Yeah.
Is they could slap him in the face and he just, bring it on.
Yeah. Well, it's
Hard to be like it because it makes us in our culture feel like we're not a man.
Yeah.
Or we're not,
That's
we're
good.
not strong and we're not standing up for ourselves.
Yeah.
You letting somebody push you up. No, you're not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's meekness is power under control.
Yeah.
And it tells us to be meek.
Man, come on. Let's go. That's good. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're supposed to be.
So
it's not going to be the loud and the obnoxious that inherit the earth. It's the meek.
That's good. So here's my next question, because I know this is the hardest, because someone does me wrong. I've learned to kind of control it, and I'll stand up for myself, but I'll keep it under control. So how do you keep it under control, and how do you respond when it's someone that's taking advantage of your wife or your kids? Because I knew this would be.
That has got to be the strength or something that comes from the Lord. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
And that's hard. It depends on what level and what exactly, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, when I can handle somebody mistreating me a lot better than I can handle somebody, mistreating a loved one of mine.
Yeah.
It's hard to push that down. We went through a situation when we lived down in Malden, and, it wasn't me that was offended. It was my wife.
Yeah.
And it fired something up in me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was totally different because I can handle it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see my wife crying.
Yeah.
And it lights something up in you.
Oh yeah.
And your question was, how do you handle it? You got to pray and ask God to show you, for what it is and not what it feels like.
Right. Yeah. I know for me, I'm a failure at it. I'll just say I'm such a failure because she'll give people so much grace. And I'm a very, what is it? Tough love. I'm a very tough love. Hey, look, I'm going to help you. But then it gets to the point where, okay, now you're on your own. You got to figure it out. And she's very patient. She's very forgiving, and she gives people a lot of grace and a lot of room, and I'm very, okay, I helped you, now go.
Right.
I'm sorry, you're out of luck. And it's very hard for me to see people not even abuse her grace, but just use it and use it and use it. So she has taught me a lot just watching her, especially with her parents, the love that she has for them, even though they've done us wrong again and again and again. Just watching her deal with them. And I know she told the story about when she got to talk to her mom and all this and kind of rekindle that relationship again. And about a week later, I think I told this story. I might not have. I was on the way back from church, and we were, had a food truck. So I had a bunch of boxes of food, and I was driving by going to my dad's house. He's a retired military, and he's not in the greatest health. So I was taking him a box of food, and I seen her mom at the gas station. And me and this woman have never had a good relationship. She didn't come to our wedding. She hated me. She kicked Jamie and Lee out when she was a baby, because she was dating me, like all kinds of stuff. So we've always had a very, very not good relationship. And God just spoke to me about my wife and, her grace to her mother and trying to reach out and rekindle that relationship. So I was able that day, because of what my wife did and because of the story that she told me, put aside my feelings, stop and go and take her mom a box of food, and just stand there and tell her I love her and I hope everything's going good, and that's something that I don't think I ever would have done if the week before Jamie didn't tell that story, right. About, her being able to talk to her mom and kind of open up. So there's learning to be done, and there's growing and
yeah. Yep.
There's definitely grace, man. That's gotta be there. We have to give people a certain amount of grace, but there's definitely got to be a line where it's,
yes. And it makes it easier whenever you can really understand how much grace God has given you.
Yeah.
And maybe even at times how much grace you've received from other people. And then it makes it easier to show others grace.
Yeah.
You know, when I was not a Christian, I just abused everybody's kindness. You know, I seen everybody as like a resource that I could get something from, you know? And so when Christ opened my eyes to that mentality and just kind of showed me how much grace he has showed me and how, you know, had protected me over the years and kept me safe. And I feel like now I'm in a place where I've received so much grace. How could I withhold that from somebody else?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to be walked on, but nobody's really done anything that bad to me,
Right.
to where I can just like be like, you know what, I'm writing that off.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And I just think there's just so much that can come out of showing somebody grace, you know, because the world's going to kick you in the head enough.
Yeah.
You know, I think as Christians, we need to be understanding with people and show them mercy and stand with them, you know, and I think a lot can be learned through grace.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
there's always going to be people that abuse it, but I don't think that we'll ever receive negative comeback. You know,
Yeah.
I think the Lord sees that, and I don't think it's ever going to affect our life negatively for being overly gracious with someone.
Yeah. That's good. Oh yeah. And I think it's in one way or another, it'll be positive for both parties.
Yeah, maybe not right away,
Yeah.
but I think somewhere down the road, both parties will see grace wins.
Oh yeah. Grace.
Sing it, man.
No, you don't want that. We'll lose listeners. Well, you got anything else on your heart?
Man, I think I'm good. It's been a good one, man.
Yeah.
How about you? Got something on
I'm
your
just
stomach?
blessed, man. Just blessed. One thing I was thinking about earlier this week, I'll try to wrap it up, make it quick. I played ball Friday. I was substituting in the gym, and I got done, you know, with the day, and I got home, and all weekend I was so sore, and probably about Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, I was just sitting there, and I'm so sore, and I'm like, man, it feels good to even be able to be out there after the 2.5 years that I went through with my back. Just being able to do that, to do something that I love, even though it's, you know, it was just in the gym with a bunch of the high schoolers. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, God, thank you for, you know, just for being able to do this, to being able to be up, man. Cause there was a point where I was so depressed and down, I never thought I'd be able to, you know, walk normally, and just everything was hurting. It was just hurt all the time. And so this weekend I really just looked at it and was like, wow, like so blessed to be able to even be out there doing that, or to even be sore, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that we overlook that. We overlook those little things in life. And I just want to tell anybody who's listening, just take the time to look at the small things around you and just be blessed by it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, thank you for joining us once again. This has been Michael and Jeremiah with the Almost Brothers podcast. Remember, if you don't have a home church, come check us out at the Lighthouse here in Dexter, 8:30 outside in the parking lot, 10 o'clock, not inside. We're not inside right now. You're going to have to come to the parking lot at 10 o'clock. Love y'all.